Hey watch aficionados, I hope you're all really well. It's actually really late here tonight. It's almost 10 p.m. and I thought I'd get a video out just because I can't really, well, I can get out of my head, but you know what, I was just in a mood to get a video out about this. Excuse if I drink the tea here and there, but I thought it'd be quite a good addition whilst I talk what I'm going to talk about. For the casual browsers who probably click this link, they're probably thinking, what is this guy talking about? I mean, we just wanted him to talk about what's titled. This, by the way, is I think this is about a 500 ml mug. It's just the way I like it. I've got my green tea, should be 2 tea bags. I'm gonna get another tea bag in a moment, start dunking it. Anyway, what did I want to cover today? You know what I wanted to cover, guys, and I actually made a note on my phone about this earlier. And simply put, this is the note. Are steel Rolexes losing their special factor? Has the game changed? Why did I come up with this? You know, I've been thinking about adding a watch for the last few days into the collection. I've been thinking about buying a Rolex, some sort of Rolex. Various ones. I don't want to go over the list now. By the way, I'm wearing the SD50. I've got the SD50 on. Whack it on under a little bit of lighting. But looks like a black sub, let's be honest. You see me out in a restaurant, looks like a black sub. The guy sat like this, eating his food, pasta, whatever it is. He's wearing a black sub. I was in a restaurant tonight. I saw this dude. He's probably like a minted, amazing guy, but he for me was just dressed really scruffy. And I'm not a judgmental person. I'm not riding a high horse here, casting judgment and whatever. But he was wearing, I think he was wearing a black sub, or he was wearing a black GMT Master. One of those. He was sat a little bit too far away from me for me to make the call on the watch he was wearing. And I've been looking at steel Rolexes recently myself, just steel Rolexes. I've stayed away from the bimetal ones for reasons I've discussed previously in videos. I didn't feel like it's quite me. And all precious metal ones are just ridiculously priced. Although I did at one point in my life genuinely consider buying a Smurf. So it was a Submariner with the polished center links, blue dial, blue bezel. So anyway, back to what I wanted to talk about. Are steel Rolexes losing their punching power? I've spoken to a few people recently who have literally they've quit Rolex as a wearable watch. They've quit it. They've now shifted it into the safe, to the vault, whatever. They've shifted the watch. It's now just an asset. It's not a watch they feel kind of represents enough for them. They're like, yeah, it's just, you know, Rolex is good for cash, good for that, this, that, and the other. Saying that, you know, they did say that they're moving into AP territory now. Quite a few people I've spoken with are moving into AP territory. Now, that's really nice if you can get an AP at retail. Of course, why wouldn't you move into AP territory when, you know, the price is like that straight after you buy it down here? But put that whole pricing profit bullshit aside. You know, I think, you know, when it comes down to steel Rolexes, are they getting a little bit too common, boring? Or is it a case of when you're thinking about buying a particular thing, like a car, a red car, blue car, a type of model, you start seeing it more? I'm not quite sure. I just think that, you know, there are a lot of fakes out there as well. That's always been the weakness of the Submariner as well. There's so many copies. But I just think that the market's shifted so much now. When you look at prices in the two-tone category for Rolex, you look at prices in the full tone or the precious metal world for Rolex, and then you're leaping into AP territory, whatever. I think that people are just finding them really boring. I got off a call today with someone who's selling a Rolex Submariner, And I said to him, why are you selling it? He said, honestly speaking, I just find it boring. It's a boring watch. It doesn't really do anything for me. And yet, these watches command such a crazy price above retail. I'd be inclined to agree with him, honestly speaking. I would be inclined to agree with him, but how do you tackle this topic? I still myself, I'm a big fan of just stainless steel watches. I think they're great. I mean, look, AP is a stainless steel watch, but AP's got that X factor about it. And maybe that's just it. Does Rolex stainless steel, or does a Rolex stainless steel sports model still have the X factor about it? Honestly speaking, like if you ask me, which Rolex sports model has the X factor, I'm only going to give you two. And that's the Daytona and the Pepsi. I think they're the only ones with the X factor. Forget the Sprite crap. The Batman, I don't think the Batman that has the X factor, not so much. I think colours, I think the Hulk kind of has the X factor. Maybe that's why I initially bought a Hulk in the beginning. People want colour, they want to stand out more now, I think, than ever. Is it a question of that? Do people now want to stand out more than ever? 10, 20, 30 years ago, everyone was content with either you had your black dialed sports model, bar the white Explorer 2, I think. You had your black dialed sports model, which was a Sea Dweller, Submariner, Submariner No Date, GMT Master, the Pepsi was black dialed, whatever. You had genuinely the black dialed stuff. And then you went to gold territory. And now the black stuff just seems, I don't know, maybe it's just my mindset at the moment. Maybe I'm a bit watch fatigued, guys. Maybe I'm honestly watch fatigued. I've mentioned to a few people, I'm a little bit watch fatigued right now. But the black sub, or the stainless steel sports model stuff, I think people are just bored and they're just seeing it like as a cash cow. It's been like that for a while. I mean, listen, the SD50, right? I rate this watch so much more than a typical sub. Oh, just look at it in that light, by the way. Look at it in that light. But it could be a sub if you're in a restaurant with me. Anyway, I rate the SD50 just because it's not a sub. It's not a sub. It's got red line on it, or a red line on it. It's bigger, it's thicker, it's more specialty. It's more like about the engineering aspect of it. And people are now going crazy over the gold stuff from Rolex. Really, it's the light which is being shone onto the precious metal stuff of Rolex right now is crazy. To think a few years ago you'd be bargaining, getting discounts in the AD for gold, Saab, Daytona, whatever it might have been, you would have got more of a discount on that than you would have on the stainless steel stuff. And it's just, I think maybe it's interesting because you could put it into two camps. You could put it into two camps of, well, no one could get their hands on stainless steel stuff anyway, so that naturally trickled over and spilled over into the camp of gold watches. But now, the people who have money, the people who have always celebrated themselves, I think they just want the precious metal stuff, or they just want two or three from the stainless steel range, and that's pretty much about it. I don't know, I guess, long story short, and I'm kind of losing maybe the fundamental here of today's video, but it's just something I've picked up in the market, and maybe you guys can share a little bit in the comment section. But I more often than not, I'm hearing people just say, look, black sub, it's all boring. It's just all tradable stuff. Not really much interest in wearing it. People want colors. I guess that's maybe a reason why the Sprite left-hand drive came out. People want colors, quirkiness, different. People want colors, and that's the thing. Like, is the black subdued stainless steel Rolex, whilst it's always going to exist, that's the bread and butter, that's the foundation of everything. Is it now just becoming very accessible, not in terms of buying it in an AD, but is it just becoming the de facto standard for everyone, and now everyone just really wants to differentiate themselves from the black sub. It's something that I feel that I've picked up from kind of spending a bit of mental time in the watch world the last few weeks, speaking to people about subs or GMT masters or whatever. Basically, there's just a lot of hate at the moment in the community for Rolex. I've picked that up. There are a lot of disgruntled people in the watch community with regards to Rolex. And these are people who want to wear the watch. They're just like, I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. It's gone from being a luxury experience where I feel amazing when I'm in the AD, spending the money, having some champagne, to got your watch, come today, bring cash. Yes, yeah, I'll be there. That's pretty much what it's turned into, right? It's just become a transactional model. That's it. Got the watch, okay, I'll be there. Pick it up, don't size it, take it home, probably flip it, put it in a safe. That's it. And maybe because I've spent time in that world as well, I'm just starting to view the plain stainless steel range as maybe something a little bit boring for myself at the moment. Certainly I've been wearing this a lot, but two-tone, I'm still not a fan of two-tone, so I'm going to put that in the video. I'm still not I like two-tone on the Daytona, personally. I think on the Daytona, the two-tone is pretty cool. The sub, not convinced, almost bought it a few times. But it just got me thinking, the precious metal stuff has just gone through the roof for Rolex, just through the roof. And obviously, it's worth way less than the weight in gold. Let's be honest, it's worth way less than the weight in gold or platinum, whatever it is. Worth way less. But so that we have to close that gap. Okay, so there's market demand, but also people have an aspiration for more differentiation. That gap grows as well. They want to accelerate out of this standard where everyone used to be for years. Oh wow, having a Rolex used to be like, whoa, you have a Rolex, that's the milestone achievement. These days in the world of payment plans, credit cards, 0% on balance transfers, interest-free stuff, everyone's been able to have one and pay it off. I'm personally not a fan of that. I don't support people buying stuff like that, watches like that. But then again, if it's an investment, and it is now with watches, if you're buying it from the AD, then why wouldn't you just why wouldn't you just treat that as an investment, an installment plan for an investment, which you still come out with, which you still come out in the black, even after the interest. There are so many things, but put all the profit chat and everything aside. What I really wanted to focus today's video is the stainless steel Rolex kind of slowly a dying breed? Because the world's changing right now. Everything's getting a little bit strange, more colourful. The guys are not as men are not like men used to be. Everyone's rocking ponytails and weird stuff nowadays. Not a dig at anyone, but the world's changing. That's what I mean. So it's just funny to kind of reflect that in the watch world. And obviously, sorry guys if I'm keeping it in the Rolex playing field for this example, but it just kind of struck me today. I was in the restaurant in a nice place this evening, and I saw the sub, and I just thought, just every man and his dog is rocking this now, aren't they? And I'm just trying to understand. Tonight, for the first time in a while, I just thought precious metal watch would be nice. And that was maybe it. That was maybe the reason for this video. Tonight was the first time in a really long time where I thought a precious metal watch would have been nice tonight. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I love the SD50 still, even though from a distance it's going to look like a sub. What to do? I don't really care what people think in general. But then again, it's just interesting to kind of observe what people are doing, where it's all going. It's a sick hobby. Let's just admit that. It's a sick hobby. We have various amounts of discussions there are various amounts of discussions to be had around it. So guys, let me know. Be interested to hear some of your feedback. Hopefully I'll get a video out in the next few days. I've got a watch that's coming in from a friend. He's going to loan it to me. That's right, mate. You know who you are. And hopefully I'll have a bit more information next week on some other stuff. Thanks very much, guys. Have a good day.